Hey, what is up everyone? My name is Justin Vasquez and I work over at Precision Camera and Video down in Austin, Texas. So I'm going to be talking about some of the differences between the Panasonic S1 and the S1H. Before we get into that, in essence, for photography, these cameras are the exact same. There are a few different features for video that are going to separate them, but photography, they're going to be pretty much the same besides the low pass filter. The low pass filter is supposed to help with moire. Your S1 does not have a low pass filter and your S1H does have that. Now for video, softer images is fine, but for a photography standpoint, your S1H should have the sharper image. Your S1H price point is going to be around $4,000, while your S1 is going to retail for about $2,500. It usually is on rebate. At the time of this video, it's on sale for $2,000 US. Another thing I want to point out, this one can shoot 6K Netflix certified footage on here. This one is only going to be able to shoot 4K. Another thing that's going to be real different is the frame rates. With your S1H, when going through the menus, you're actually going to be able to get a true Cinema 4K on there, 6K, 5.9K. We can get 10-bit recording, 4K 60, and 10-bit. It's going to be cropped. Where your S1, your max frame rate you're going to be able to get is going to be 4K 60, but it is going to be 8-bit. If you want to get 4K 60 at 10-bit, you're going to have to throw in an external recorder. Now, another thing about your S1, it is going to give you 24 frames per second only when shooting in 4K. I'm not too sure why Panasonic did this, but if you want to shoot 1080 24, that's not an option on this camera. So that's another thing that you're going to have to do with the S1H. Now, your S1H, it is going to come already pre-installed with the Vlog. Your S1, you are going to have to purchase an additional update to get Vlog installed on this. Now, your S1H is going to also include shutter angle, which is really nice for videographers. You can actually turn on synchro scan and change it to an actual degree in here. Whereas your S1, you do not get shutter angle, you're just gonna get basic shutters speed. Another big thing for videographers is this is actually able to do anamorphic D-squeeze. So you can put anamorphic lenses on here, and the anamorphic lenses will also work with the stabilization. We do not get that feature again on the S1. Now, some audio differences. The S1 is going to give you negative 12 decibels as an option, where our S1H is going to be able to go down to negative 18 decibels on a standard mode, and you can actually put that in a low mode as well. One of the biggest differences you're going to see right off the bat, other than the size of them, is going to be the actual screens. So the S1 LCD screen is just going to give you this pivot right here, whereas for videographers, it might be a little easier to use the fully articulate screen that Panasonic has done. Now, we've seen this in some of their other cameras like their G85 or their GH5. So I was really happy they were actually able to include it in the S1H. And in my opinion, they're some of the best tiltable screens on the market. As for media, on our S1, we're going to get an XQD or CF Express card slot with an SD card as our second slot. On the S1H, they did away with the XQD card slot, and right now we're going to be able to get dual SD cards. Now, another noticeable difference on the cameras is when you look at the top of the screen, the LCD screen here on the S1, it's still going to be pretty helpful, but it is significantly smaller than what we have on our S1H. We are able to actually customize this screen up here, and you can actually put audio levels on this screen as well. Now, our S1H is going to give us a dual native ISO, whereas our S1, we do not get a dual native ISO, but after testing, when you get to around 4,000 ISO on the S1, it actually does start to get a little bit cleaner. Another thing for videographers, S1H is going to offer time code, S1 does not. Other than that, the S series is known for being quite large compared to other mirrorless full frame cameras. But when you compare the S1 body to our S1H, the S1H is a little bit bigger, and then we do have more fans on the side to help with cooling. Now, the S1H, according to Panasonic, is going to be able to record ProRes RAW files to an Atomos Ninja 5. That is not going to be the case for the S1, but sometime in the future, Panasonic is planning to throw that at the S1H. Now let's talk about battery life. Both are going to be using the same powerful battery that Panasonic's made, but our S1 is going to get slightly better battery life just because it isn't using as much resources as something like your S1H. All right, so those are some of the differences between your S1 and your S1H. Now, for the S1, if you're a hybrid shooter looking to get amazing photos and some good video content, let's say for social media stuff, the S1 is the camera for you. If you're more of a videographer and you're looking to get the best video quality with all the features that this one packs internal to the camera, then I would definitely say it's worth the extra money and just go ahead and invest in something like the S1H.